I've been given a rare treat today. What I have in front of me is a 1613 copy, original, of the King James Bible, printed in 1613 by Robert Barker, the printer for the king. Now, this is not the first printing. The first printing would have been 1611, but it is an exquisite volume that is leather bound. The leather may be later, but certainly the clasps are original clasps that held the book together. The book is in what's known as a quarto format, which allows for very easy carrying. It's a portable volume and made it very easy for people to actually have and use. And in contrast to folio volumes, which were much larger and really so heavy that they could only sit on a desk. We open up the book, and the title page is a beautiful title page, and hopefully you can see this, that around the border on the left side, because we're talking about the Old Testament and the New, the left side are the 12 tribes of Israel, and on the border on the right side are the 12 apostles, including Matthias, who was voted after Judas had committed suicide. Inside, you'll see the 4 evangelists, the gospel writers, and it says the Holy Bible containing the Old Testament and the New, newly translated out of the original tongues, and with the former translations diligently compared and revised by His Majesty's special commandment, imprinted at London by Robert Barker, printer to the King's most excellent Majesty, in the year 1613. At the top, between Matthew and Mark, is a reference to heaven, and at the bottom, between Luke and John, you see the Revelation lamb that was slain. Now, inside the book, there are lots of surprises. Because the Book of Common Prayer was attached to the Bible, we have on this first inside page a calendar of readings and prayers and psalms. It's only through September through December, so the first months are missing. Followed by some, an early lectionary, and you see the Book of Common Prayer is in here. And the Book of Common Prayer contains one of 3 sets of psalms that are present in this book. And all 3 are different translations. One is because it's set to music. The other one was the original Coverdale translation, and the one inside the Bible is the new authorized version, or King James version. You can see that there's also a letter to the king. Since he commissioned the translators. And there's also a letter to the reader, explaining the translation to them. So a letter from the translators. And see, next to the Z it says, "The best things have been calumniated." There's also, you can see that the elegant way that letters were ended in kind of to form the base of a chalice that would contain the Word of God. The names of all the books in the Bible, you see, including the Apocrypha, and then the first book of Moses, called Genesis. Beautiful floriated in initial letters. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And then there's a number of cross-references here. There's very little editorial commentary. That was King James was one of the versions of the Bible where that was removed. And then you see it's in what they call black letter type, which is a little bit difficult to read and very small. Very small. And you notice there are no illustrations in this Bible, unlike previous Bibles, which were very heavily illustrated. So I want to be sure that I'm handling this very gently. So I apologize if the video is not terribly smooth. But I'm just thumbing through this. Ooh, that looks like a little bit of damage on Malachi. And you see, we're now in the Apocrypha, and I'm just thumbing through the Apocrypha. The wisdom of Jesus, the son of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus. And I want to get us to the New Testament. And here's the end of the Apocrypha and the Gospel according to St. Matthew. Okay, there are introductions to each chapter. You can see the rubrics up here to keep people aware of where they are in the Bible. And we can take this all the way back through the epistles. There's the epistle of Paul to the Ephesians and into Revelation. And here is some more additional information for the reader. 2 right and profitable and fruitful concordances. Okay. Notice the publishing date here is 1613, the same as the Bible. But when we get through here, you can see there's one concordance here, and then there's a second concordance here, the second table, and then at the end of the concordances we have a whole book of the Psalms, set to music. And you see the date of this is 1615, and in 1615, this must have been added to the binding. You could see that it's not just the Psalms that are actually set to music, but things like the Magnificat and the Song of Simeon, the Nunc Dimittis, even the Athanasius Creed is set to music. That must have been a long sing. There's the Lord's Prayer, the Ten Commandments, and then the Psalms, all set to music. So you have 3 different versions of the Psalms in one book. Here's a little nuance. Somebody wrote in here, maybe motivated by singing this particular psalm. God bless King George of England. And that moves us to the end of the book. And I'm going to close this book very gently. You see, it's such a beautiful volume. I'm privileged to have had a chance to touch it, look at it, marvel at it, and enjoy it.